Mr. Mayoro, specifically you, the question on everybody's lips is which legislation, which act will govern the 2014 elections coming this year?
Thanks a lot, Hilda. I think it's public knowledge by now that obviously over the last few years we have been going through a rigorous process of a total review and overhaul of the Electoral Act. I think the LRDC has been at the forefront in terms of engaging stakeholders and consulting on all the various aspects of the draft electoral matters bill. And I think we learned some few days ago that the Minister, General Namolo, gave a notice that this bill will be tabled before Parliament, I think tomorrow, which is the 12th of August. So the question of which electoral framework or legislation will be used during the November elections really depends on the parliamentary process.
Yes.
Parliament has its own procedures and processes. There are standing rules and orders. Parliament has its own way of doing things. During the consideration of this particular bill, Parliament may opt to engage the public through parliamentary committees, doing some public hearings, in order to gauge the views and basically solicit and collect views from the general public. So depending on how fast that process goes, I think we would then be able to make a determination as to whether we will be conducting the forthcoming elections based on the current existing Electoral Act or based on the new, based on the new Electoral Matters Bill for that matter. So as the Electoral Commission, it is really our hope that this bill will be passed through Parliament, that it will be enacted in good time, so that we're able to conduct the forthcoming elections based on this new bill, because there are a number of important...
Can I just get Mr. Hopwood, please, just to get him involved? Mr. Hopwood, from your perspective, because you represent the IPPR and specifically you work with voters, you work with just the general populace. I'd like to hear your perspective in this regard, please.
Well, we do expect it to be the Electoral Matters Bill, which we expect to be in Parliament this week, because that's been based on consultations carried out by the LRDC since 2011. So it would be a great pity if all that work and all that consultation that went nationwide wasn't used. I think the problem is that it's coming so late in the process, and there might be various reasons for that, but it does create issues now because it's a very comprehensive, as far as I know, it's a very comprehensive, the draft legislation I've seen, and it's about 300 pages. So it's a huge piece of legislation. It'll take some time for the National Assembly and National Council to go through it. But they're not the only ones who have to get up to speed. We all have to, the civil society, citizens, everybody who's engaged with elections has to try and understand this. The ECN itself and its officials have to know how the conduct of elections is going to work this time. It's going to be different in some respects from previous practice. So there's a lot of work and a lot of challenges ahead. And so the main concern really is just how late it is and how quickly, but also effectively, Parliament can deal with the issue.
Mr. Nkongo, you specifically working with the National Youth Council and you specifically work in the field of voter education, if I'm correct.
Yes.
From your perspective, the youth, are they aware that this is the case, that currently we in limbo sort of between one piece of legislation waiting for a bill to be promulgated through Parliament?
Yes, that is a fact, and all of us are looking forward to Parliament to do their jobs so that we make sure that this bill is enacted as fast as it could, so that it can allow us to go to the poll come November.